Hello and welcome to GT. Today's race is in Bahrain and racing co-op. I qualified first. Lights are out and away we go. I have a poor start. Sean pulling ahead. Lewis Hamilton, his teammate, pulling ahead of me, as well as Carlos Sainz. We're braking, hoping to get the inside line. And that was Verstappen. Perez, oh my goodness, down into P8 behind Yuki Tsunoda. We're going to be seeing a lot of him throughout the first part of this race. We're just about 7/10 off of him and fighting our footing. We've started out on the soft tires, as you can see, and hoping to run 6 laps on the softs and the rest on the medium tires. That way, we use up all the speed that you get from being on the soft compound tires and get a fresh set of mediums to battle through the ending laps of the race. Hopefully also opening up a gap to cars behind. But with that start, we're kind of in a bit of a mess. There's a lot of cars in front of us, and I was having a lot of trouble trying to overtake around this track. As you see, we're dropping down to almost, 9/10 to a second in that range behind Yuki Tsunoda. We're just really not feeling this first lap. Going into the penultimate corner, we pull up to 6/10, and yep, we're being dropped. It's not great. You could see all the cars lining up behind us. We seem to not have the pace yet. We are slightly closing on Yuki Tsunoda in that braking zone. We do it better than the AI, but the AI are also better at this first sector, as you can see Lando Norris fighting our teammate Valtteri Bottas. So, while we're on these first few laps, nothing too much happens. And we're going to be behind Yuki Tsunoda, rubber banding between 1 and 5/10 of a second. And I'll talk you through what's going on with this co-op campaign. So, me and Sean have decided to do separate contracts, just because it'd be interesting to see how our cars develop as the season progresses. We're starting on 41 level AI, and we actually move it up to 51 level AI after this race. The resource gain is all default. Everything is default. We got medium race timing, and we also have a short qualifying session. I wanted to try that over the one-shot qualifying, just because one-shot feels like a lot of pressure. Plus, I love the shenanigans of there's tons of cars on track, and you gotta avoid all that to actually put in a qualifying lap. As you can see, we closed the gap down to 4/10 going into the braking corner. Out of the corner, though, it looks like Tsunoda gains a lot of time. I wasn't confident at all coming through the second corner. You have to kind of take a bit of that red and white stripy bit, and the traction wasn't there for me, or at least I wasn't very confident in traction. Here, I was able to make a lot of moves on the AI, but during this couple laps, all it allowed me to do was close up onto the back of Yuki Tsunoda. Though, as you can see, lap 3, we are actually getting into the groove of the race. We're keeping on the back of him. The first couple laps, we were just kind of way back 1 second, just hanging around, trying to find our footing, and it seems here we have finally found it. But at this moment, I was thinking to myself, wow, we've been behind Yuki Tsunoda for 3 laps. If it's gonna be like this, I'm probably not gonna recover from 8th, and we're not gonna have a chance at podium anymore. Even though we started at first, it's starting to feel like we're not even going to finish in third. So I decided, you know what? We're pitting. We're going on a very early stop. And during the race, I thought we went to hards. But as it turns out, and as you're about to see, we slap on the medium tires. Maybe it was the way to go. And here we go. Onto the medium tires in last place. There is quite the differential between us and the car in second to last, Lance Stroll. 11 seconds. And we're actually gonna skip time shortly. A little bit on Lance Stroll though. This season, what an excellent drive. In most recent race, what was that? Zandvoort. That was insane. He kept that Aston Martin in the top 10. The Aston Martins have been breaking into the top 10 pretty often as we skip forward to lap 6, lighted doors, DNFs. No safety car though, so we keep pushing forward. And the field doesn't really close up. We have closed up though, 8 seconds on everyone else as we pass a lot of people in the pits coming down on lap 7. So we're starting lap 7 now, skipping from lap 6, or skipping half of lap 6. You can see an Alpine in the background of Fernando Alonso, who had just come out of the pits. So it's looking like we have good pace on these mediums. Keeping position. Maybe we can filter up a little bit higher than 7th place once everyone else has come through the pack. As you can see, our 4-second gap to the Ferrari ahead. So we're gonna skip forward once again, and this time you can see the differential is coming down yet again. We've dropped roughly a second, and a lot of drivers are pitting now. We come out ahead of Yuki Tsunoda, who is also in the pits. So far, we are maintaining our position of 7th that we had dropped down to earlier after also passing Yuki Tsunoda going into the pit lane. Sean Soda leading a commanding race, 7 seconds to Sebastian Vettel. And the rest of the field, tons of time. Just lots of space in between there. So, we're on lap 8. And I'm slowly closing in. Another second gained. We're coming down the straight. Will we pass anyone else in the pit lane? Looks like Sebastian Vettel. So, we have done a successful overcut. And, wait, no, that's an undercut. And for those who don't know, an undercut is when you pit early and come out gaining track position on the cars who pit later. This is an extremely long undercut, and it seems to have paid off with Yuki behind and us in 6th, gaining a position. We've got Carlos Sainz ahead, who's still just about 2 seconds ahead of us. The gap is falling, but we're not really fighting for position yet, though we are starting to poke into DRS range. We're not going to get it on this straight, but look at that. There's a little cluster of cars ahead, and we've broken the 1 second barrier, so we'll have DRS on the long straight. Carlos Sainz, Sergio Perez, Charles Leclerc, all to play for in these positions. We have 5 laps remaining, and things look to be going okay. The recovery drive is on, and a possible podium is on the books, it looks like. So we are sticking behind Carlos Sainz, looking for the move. And so far, nothing's opening up. A little bit of chaos ahead as Sergio Perez and Charles Leclerc fighting. Charles Leclerc losing position to Sergio Perez, and we keep behind Carlos Sainz. So, going into the 10th lap, will we make a move? Carlos Sainz ahead, just 4/10 ahead. He is going on the racing line. Doesn't look like any defending. We dive into that first part of, or the last part of the S's. Getting the move on Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz tries to go around the outside, but slides on the red stripy rumble strips. Oof. He really was sending it. Gotta lend it to him. And you know what else we gotta lend to him? You can't tell on screen, but his attempt to reclaim the position there has resulted in a safety car. And you know what that means. It is time to box for soft tires. You can see me there coming to a stop because the VSC comes out before the safety car. VSC standing for virtual safety car, if you didn't know. And I had an incredible differential that I couldn't beat unless I just stopped right there on the track. So here we are, coming in to get our soft tires. It looks like we're the only one so far getting softs. Was it worth it? Not sure. If we could have maintained some sort of speed, maybe it would have resulted in us coming out a little bit farther ahead as we're coming out of the pit lane. Guess who's coming around to meet us? It's our teammate, Valtteri Bottas. So, we're coming out 7th, just behind Bottas. We've got Mick Schumacher behind. Another great finish for Mick Schumacher. Unlucky race at Zandvoort, but he did well to recover to 13th from, I think it was 17th in Zandvoort. A very consistent race and very strong pace. So, we are all lined up behind the safety car. Sean is leading. Safety car in this lap. As you've noticed, we skipped forward a little bit. Here, I'm trying to pressure Bottas. Because he's on used mediums and I want to put him off so that I can take advantage of my softs and maybe push towards the front. Maybe even challenge Sean. But I accelerate a little bit too early, having to back off down the straight. So we lose time to Bottas. We try to dive around the inside. Bottas covering onto the apex, stopping on the apex, and I run a little bit into him. No damage though. Yuki Tsunoda claims the position ahead where Bottas was. Now it's Tsunoda, Leclerc, Bottas, and we got Mick Schumacher fighting on the inside. We brake really late, pushing ourselves onto the outside, giving us the space to overtake Mick, and then push for the inside on Yuki Tsunoda, squeezing him in and collecting the position. Here we go on Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc is sticking it around the outside as we try to go for the move on the inside. Will we keep it around on the outside onto this corner? No. Charles Leclerc locks up. We try to switch back, but no. Instead, we hit Charles Leclerc, and he makes it around. No damage for both of us, and we continue our little fight. So here, I dive real hard on the inside of the corner, take way too much speed, go too far on the outside of the track, and Charles Leclerc reclaims the position. That is opening up the space from me to Bottas. So far, it's looking like the soft tire gamble isn't working. Or at least I'm not taking the best advantage of it. We try and go for around the outside on Charles Leclerc into the penultimate corner, leading up to the straight. It pays off. We're going after Valtteri Bottas. We're within a second and gaining very fast, dropping 2/10 on the straight alone. Will we try and go for a dive on Bottas? No, it looks like we just tuck in right behind him, going in his slipstream, looking for a possible overtaking opportunity. We don't go for it here. Oh, we do actually. We go for the inside. It was a clean move. Definitely 100% clean. There was a little bit of contact, gotta say. And now we're unleashed to try and fight for the podium. We're in 4th place, 4 seconds. No, make that 3 seconds behind 3rd place of Sergio Perez. Sergio Perez is way ahead on the field, and we literally have 1/3 of a lap to make 3 seconds up. So unless he just crashes somewhere, it's not looking great. Though, gotta say, it was quite the recovery drive. We started at 1st, dropped down into 8th place, and recovered to 4th. It's reminiscent as well of Charles Leclerc's Zandvoort performance, where he actually started in 2nd at Zandvoort and finished in 3rd. So we're worse. Though comparing ourselves to a real F1 driver, even though we're playing with 41 level AI. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Sean ended up winning that race pretty masterfully, if I don't say so myself. And see you next time. Ciao. Goodbye. See you later.